Hello everyone, and welcome back to Technically Unsure, where I'm not really sure what I'm doing technically.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
So today in this video, we are going to cover something again very exciting. At least I am very excited about it. It's, as you have seen probably in the video title, it's going to be another RISC-V single board SBC single board computer, SoC, motherboard, whatever you want to call it. It is something I've been waiting for it. Just received it a little while ago, and today I'm going to unpack it and we are going to go through all the specs, benchmarks, tests, and everything. Of course, I'm talking about this. This is the Milk-V Jupiter, and I bought the K1 version with 8 GB RAM. So let me take out the knife. Open it up. I paid, I think 80 bucks. Yeah, that's what I paid for the, again, K1 8 GB version. Is there any sign of that? It doesn't say, but the model in here, it says MV040 something something D8W. I don't think it says here the RAM size. Oh, by the way, okay, while we have this in here, why not just go through it over here? So this is the, as I said, there is a K1 version and M1 version. M1 have a better cooling performance, they are saying on their own website, and they're saying the M1 default frequency is 1.8. The K1 default frequency is 1.6 gigahertz. So I think when I was ordering, and still it's not in stock, so I ordered it right away, but I got the K1 with 8 GB RAM. And as you can see, the RAM, there is a 4 GB version, 8 GB version, 16 GB version. So I got the 8 GB version. And it does have two tops. So that's a very important distinction. Because if you remember, I believe RISC-V, the $170 very powerful SBC, very powerful. Actually, it's one of my favorite ones. So RISC-V, that one, I believe it's honestly not for AI and stuff, but yeah, I believe it was like 0.5 tops. I will add a correction in the video somewhere if I'm wrong. AI and this one is 2 tops. Just keep that in mind. For GPU, they have IMG BXE232. Never heard of it. First time seeing it here. So that's there. This supports apparently OpenGL 1.1, 3.2, EGL, OpenCL, and Vulkan. For storage, there is SPI flash for boot. Don't know the size. I don't know the size. So I keep seeing that. I didn't specifically order any specific size for the flash to install OS and stuff into it, but I didn't see the size. And there's a M.2 M key, eMMC connector, not in there, and micro SD card, which, by the way, there are multiple operating systems for it. So I prepared already. I'm so excited, I couldn't wait. As soon as I'm done unboxing, we're gonna boot into it. So there is an Ubuntu 23.10. This is it, okay? I installed it in this. And apparently default username is root and the password is Milk-V. So that's one. The other option was Fedora 41. And Fedora 41 actually does have different flavors and variants. So there is a Casa OS version, GNOME version, minimal version, and multi-desktop version. I went with the multi-desktop just in case I want to switch between. I don't know the options. I assume one is GNOME because that's there, and maybe Casa, maybe other stuff. So I just downloaded the multi and we're gonna try that. For this one, for Fedora one, default password is RISC-V. Milk-V, RISC-V. So that's the, I wish they had a little bit, more unique things for both operating system images. And there is Bianbu Chinese OS. Not gonna try that one. This does have 8 cores, obviously. Did we talk about it? Yeah, it's here. Oh, okay, there is a typo. It says octa, so that should be octa-core, okay? Octa-core X60, and that's the CPU. Their Ethernet, there is 2 Gigabit Ethernet, RJ45. Wireless, there is Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2. And for USB, 2 USB 3, 2 USB 2, 1 USB-C, 2 USB 3 front header, and 2 USB 2 front header. Display, standard HDMI up to, okay, so that's a little bit sucky. So 1920 by 1440, I guess that's the max. So, but remember, this is a $80 computer. So this is a Raspberry Pi 5 price, okay? Although with Raspberry Pi you can connect better monitor and resolution, but let's see, maybe the other specs make up for this. And there is PCIe slot, PCIe X8, PCIe 2.1 though. Okay, that's also all right. 2-lane, doesn't matter. We'll talk about it. PWM connector, RTC, and other stuff. All right, let's open it up. Let's open it up. Okay, these are the wireless antenna, and that's the wow, beautiful, very nice. So this is Jupiter V1 and the other camera as well. So this is the V1, and in the middle of it I can see right there Space MIT, Space MIT, whatever, however it's pronounced, Space MIT RISC-V K1. So that's the K1 processor. It's so small, but yeah, there's a Raspberry Pi one also like that, I guess, if I have one handy. Anyway, so I believe this is the RAM, 8GB version should be the RAM. That's the CPU. Should be Bluetooth and Wi-Fi stuff. Yep, there's the RF here, and I see the shield in there. And this DC in, there's ATX power. Okay, so I guess I can use this instead of that, unless this is easier. So we'll see. There is 2 SATA power connections. These 2 are. There is okay, so this is the standard power button front panel connection basically. PoE header is over here. SSD, NVMe SSD one that we were talking about, and there is this, let me remove that, okay. The PCIe X2 is over here. The front panel USB 2, USB 3 connectors are here. SD card goes here, audio is here. So it looks like an mini ITX computer. Actually, let me measure it. So in terms of, let's go with millimeters. So this is 17 by, should be 17, right? Yeah, so 17 by 17, okay? So this is a standard size. This looks like a computer, full-blown motherboard and computer, everything. It does even have ATX power, PCIe, front panel connection here, front panel USB, USB 3, USB 2s, Wi-Fi, SD card, all that stuff. In terms of I/O over here, the standard, again, this is the audio, microphone, and the speaker. 2 USB 2s, 2 USB 3s, 2 Ethernet, RJ45, Gigabit Ethernet, HDMI, USB-C, and power supply. And doesn't have the voltage on it. I will figure it out. I will find it somewhere on the documentation. Okay, let's keep going. Is there anything else in the box? Oh yeah, front panel I/O shield. Okay, it goes this way. Yeah, so that's for that. I'm not gonna use this, so I'm gonna put it back in the box. Antenna, I'm gonna connect to it. Connect it to the board. Let's put this away. So we're done with this as well. So we talked about the specs. As I said, 8-core, 8GB RAM, 2 tops. And this is actually on their website. They are, in terms of the power of the processor, they are saying this is 50K DMIPS. So DMIPS is dry stone million instruction per second, okay? The MIPS, not to be confused with the MIPS instruction set, right? No, this is the dry stone million instructions per second. So DMIPS, it's a metric system used to measure computers' performance. It's old, it's from 1970s. It's relative to DEC VAX 11780. It's a old mini computer, so it's a different type of, let's say, benchmark to detect the power, CPU power, processing power of CPU. The dry stone test is based on like a synthetic code loop. So it keeps looping through that to mimic like operations in a real algorithm. And then based on the time it takes to go through that code loop, you can detect the speed. And it is calculated by dividing that dry stone score by the machine that is nominally 1 MIPS. So they divide that to a machine that have a 1 million instruction per second power, and then that's how you score it. So they're saying this is 50,000 DMIPS. Confusing a little bit, not the numbers we're used to, like Sysbench or StressNG and stuff like that. We're gonna test everything in there, whatever we can. Let me go read up on the power supply thing, and I'm gonna see if I have a DC jack compatible with this head. I prefer to do this. This is much easier. But maybe we go with this. We'll see. Maybe I test it just to test it. I will see that. I'm assuming because this is probably 12 volts. This should be 12 volts, but I have to check. So if it is 12 volt and if I have a barrel jack compatible with this, I will just use that. I have from a bunch of NAS that I received. I will probably use, but we'll see. And also I need to put some heatsink and cooler on this. Hopefully a regular heatsink would be enough. There is a hole for fan connection. I don't have it, and I don't have the time to wait for it. I want to get my hands on this. So there's RTC battery, but this is non-standard. Non-standard. It's a different, let's say. I'm not sure if I have one for this. Yeah, let me prepare this. And as I said, I have two OS images. I'm gonna try both. So there's Ubuntu and Fedora multi-desktop, and hopefully both will work fine. Just give me a couple seconds. I will be right back. Okay, so we are back. I connected the ATX. It's 12 volt, exactly as I thought. So this is 12 volt, but I couldn't find a jack that exactly matches it, and I didn't want to risk it. So this is easy. This is also maybe you guys relate to this more. So I went with this. I inserted the Ubuntu version first. So I borrowed heatsink from Raxa just to test. Seems like it should be able to handle the heat coming from this particular CPU. And the power is here, power consumption. You will see it in here. 1, 2, 3. Let's turn it on. Oh wow, it jumped to 66 watt initially. Okay, that's fast. Immediately we're seeing something on the screen at least. And let's see. Okay, so we are getting somewhere. Ubuntu seems like... Okay, so I see file system uses XC compression. That is not supported in there as an error. I remember another operating system from another vendor had the same issue. Because of that, I couldn't install a bunch of packages, but doesn't matter. We'll see. Early. So yeah, it looks like during the boot, it jumps up to 11 watts, 10, 11, 12. That's... Okay, there's absolutely no heat whatsoever in the heatsink, and the room is very cool, so it should be fine. Okay, does it boot directly into the operating system? We'll see. And I connected the Ethernet, RJ45 and HDMI. Okay, so it comes. Oh, okay, so it starts with the setup. Yeah, I don't want that. Let's search for English, United States, if it is there. Not that it matters too much, but okay. So that's just for the typing, that's the keyboard, okay. I am going to connect to Wi-Fi. Okay, I already have the connection with the Ethernet, by the way, I just noticed. So I don't really, yeah, wire disconnected. We will do Wi-Fi later. For now, I don't want to connect to Wi-Fi for now. Let's skip. Next. So that's going to be New York. Okay, I guess Albany International. No, okay, all right, airport. So yeah, no. Okay. Yeah, sure. No password is not allowed. Okay. Okay. All right, start using Ubuntu. So basically that default username and password that they were saying, I don't think I need it because it booted into a setup mode, and I think I entered the username and password that I wanted. Let's see, maybe root password is what is shared on their blog, and I might, oh wow, okay, that's nice. All right, so it booted, and okay, a little bit initially, a little bit. Okay, it's freezing and hanging. I guess it's caching stuff and syncing stuff. Let me pin the, oh. Okay. Yeah, nothing on the heat. Nothing on the heat side. So, okay, let me see if I can sudo. Okay, so that works. I don't know where that password is gonna come handy, but I am not using it. Maybe if I do sudo root, that's when I need it. What was that? For Ubuntu, it was milk 5. Yeah, okay. So I don't like it kinda, honestly, because they have already built a root password into system, a static username password, where I actually went through the setup. It is totally unnecessary, but okay, it is what it is. They have done it, so it's there. Anyway, let's do an apt update. Let's see the servers and the mirrors it's using. Okay, it's using the space MIT, space MIT, MIT, whatever. Okay, so let's install a bunch of packages, the usual if they are in the repo. Okay, so there is no, I guess there is no sysbench. Okay, there is stressng, so we'll install the stressng RISC-V version, I guess. Sysbench, there is no RISC-V version, so we're going to with this stressng. And I will install a bunch more stuff. I want to test everything, so let's go into fast forward mode. Let me install a bunch of stuff. Okay, so we are back. I installed a bunch of packages. This is the NeoFetch, Ubuntu 23.10, RISC-V 64, Milk 5 Jupyter, and that's the screen resolution, GNOME 45, and CPU is detected at space mid X60 8-core, and yeah, 1.6 gigahertz, exactly as they were saying. And my RAM is exactly what I bought, 8 GB. Okay. Now, stressng is the first test I just want to do, and as you can see, when the full CPU, all the cores are being used, it's going up to 12 watts, okay? And let's take a look at the score. Oh, wow, okay, that's 2300. So, I believe Raspberry Pi 5 is 900 in the stress NG CPU test. That's a matrix prod, okay, for 30 seconds. So comparison is not going to be really accurate. That's the score you're getting with the stress NG. And very quickly on iPerf 3, I just want to confirm the gigabit is actually a gigabit and not lower. Yep, that's actually it's a little bit lower, but let's see how it ends. 10 watts. Okay, it's lower. Yeah, it should be a little bit faster, but it's okay. It's acceptable. Very close to a gigabit, but I was expecting more. So that's also working. And there is no heat, absolutely no heat whatsoever in here. So that's fine. And we got the score for stressng. I'm gonna be honest though, it's a little bit slow. And like it's not snappy enough for me to use it as a daily computer. Like when I do this, you see, it takes time to do something, like anything. And in terms of browser, I just want to see, is there a Firefox installed? No. So any Chrome installed? Yes. So let me just see if it works. Obviously, it's gonna take a while to load. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's not snappy. And it could be due to the issues with the graphics processor and the GPU stuff. But yeah, you're using, okay, they're running it in unsafe root way. Okay, anyway, let's do, I guess, YouTube maybe. So you can see how slowly it loads, right? You can feel it even when I'm, yeah. Okay, it's a little bit slow, as you can tell. And I don't think they were claiming a lot on the GPU, but overall the desktop experience, it's a little bit sluggish. I don't think you can use this as a daily driver, I'm just gonna say. Okay, so we are doing 1260 and okay, so this is 480p. Let's go up to 1080p, 60 frames per second. Let's see if it starts dropping frames. Let's go. It's very sluggish. Yeah, it's dropping frames. So I'm not even gonna try the other ones. I can feel the frames being dropped off the screen. Yeah, so it's barely can do 1080p. Could be due to driver, and this is again vendor provided OS image. So it is not working. As you can see, it's slow. It's very slow. As I said, if you want to use it as a daily driver, I don't think it is there. Not the desktop. That's very important. So I think this is the graphics that's suffering the most. So the desktop environment, yeah, you see, just closing, just opening a browser, it is visible that it is slow. So what I'm gonna say is, what I'm gonna try is, I'm gonna try the NVMe SSD over here and the PCIe. Not sure what is supported on the PCIe side, but I'm gonna try it anyway. This is PCIe X2 though. It's not much of a bandwidth over there. So let me power it off and see if I can get anything to work. So okay, yeah, you see, just loading that menu to power it off, you see it is stuttering. Yeah. So I think it's mostly due to the graphics, but the TOPS and the AI and all their stuff, it is not really relevant to the graphics part. So GPU should maybe is suffering a little bit. Overall, I think you can try to use it as a desktop environment, but you have to be a little bit patient. That's all I'm gonna say. Let me try to put some NVMe SSD here and it's something for the PCIe. I'll be right back. Okay, that was noise in there. Okay, I will be right back. Let me put something on the PCIe and then an NVMe SSD, and we see if those works. I will be right back. Okay, so I don't have an PCIe 2 X8 compatible graphics card. So the regular ones, it's gonna be bigger than this. Not sure if it is gonna be compatible. I ordered some. I ordered an old graphics card. Yeah, I will try that and I will put it as an update in the comment section. So let's keep going. I just want to test the NVMe SSD and the speed that it can read and write to that NVMe SSD. Let's first see if it works at all. Let's do a speed test on this. Okay, so we are getting 460 megabyte per second. It's a little bit low, considering especially that this NVMe SSD is, let me see, what is this? It's this one. So it's similar to this. So let me remove this. Okay. So it is the PCIe 4 though. That's not PCIe 4, NVMe M.2. And yeah, it's a little bit slow. That's all I'm gonna say. So 450 is not, it's probably in the range of PCIe 2 for that NVMe SSD, maybe. So I was expecting more basically on that. That being said, but at least NVMe SSD is working. And I have to remind you again that this is $80 computer and it comes with this board and the CPU. That's all you need is a power supply or a D12 volt plus basically just a heatsink. So yeah, that being said, we tested the Ethernet. I'm going to test the Wi-Fi capabilities now. Okay, I am connected to a Wi-Fi network, and let me physically remove the Ethernet cable. Okay, and then let's do IP address. And yes, there is the Wi-Fi IP address, and internet is connected. So now I'm going to do an iPerf3. Okay, so 400 megabit per second. So also you see that. So that's the Wi-Fi speeds, 400 megabits per second. Actually, I was expecting again more from this, considering that I have Wi-Fi 6 available, and I think they were saying that this supports Wi-Fi 6. So no idea, but that's what I'm getting, and it is actually right here. The router, the Wi-Fi router is right close to where this computer is actually. So okay, that's what we're getting, 400 megabits per second. We tested the stress engine, we tested the PCIe speeds, the ports are working HDMI, you see I'm already recording it, so that's also obviously there. Power consumption is, I'm gonna say it's 10 watt computer. So it just goes up 11, 12 sometimes, but usually it's always around like 10 in there. Let me try the Fedora as well. and hopefully that will also work. It's sluggish, this one, the Ubuntu. To be honest, as I said, I won't use it as a daily driver for myself, but yeah, you might have no problems with that and enjoy it. So it's different for everyone, but it's just it's slow when you're moving around. All right. Oh, okay, that's fast. Okay, so they were saying the default username password is root and RISC-V. So RISC-V for Fedora version, and I think I got it. Let's see. Yep. Okay. So clip it can save yours. No, it's fine. All right. So we did that. Okay. So it booted into install environment. Actually, looks like. Is it? Let's see. Oh yeah, this is an install environment. So okay. Oh, do you think it would boot from the NVMe SSD? Okay, by the way, remember I was saying the size of the SPI chip, I don't know what it is. That's right there. 8 megabyte is the size of that. So 64 gig is this SSD card, sorry. And there's the ZRAM 0, that's not it. And then that's the RAM, and that's the NVMe, which is this one. I'm gonna try the NVMe. Let's see if it works. Well, that disappeared. Okay. I don't know what happened, but that disappeared. Okay, let me put back the wired connection. I prefer that. Okay, looks like the Fedora is working the way whatever you're seeing here. So it was just showing something and then disappeared. It's a usable environment still, I guess. Internet, there is a Firefox. So this one comes with Firefox. And yeah, you can use this as well. I guess there is a, what was the password? Oh, it didn't even ask. Oh, we are already rooted, sorry. We are really logged in already as a root user. So let's see if there is any updates for packages. Fedora RISC-V Koji, by the way. That's as you can see on the screen. And it's not. Okay, try to look for Fedora Mesa. So that's the Mesa driver it's looking for. And that wasn't also working in the Ubuntu. And that's most likely why it was very sluggish and not usable. So this feels like Snap here a little bit. Not too much, as you can see. If I move the window around, yeah, you can't use that either, but okay, and yeah, I left the mouse, so it's just going on its own. I just moved the window. Yeah, so yeah, okay. It's not that good. It's not that good. It's the Ubuntu was better. So let's get back to Ubuntu and wrap it up in there. Okay. So I know it's small on the screen. I'm gonna try to zoom in the post, but here is the SBC bench. I stopped the GDM, killed all the processes, dropped down to TTY4. Almost no processes are running, and I did an SBC bench. You will see the memory speeds with memcpy and memset. You will see the 7-zip score, and that's 962 mol single thread. And you see the OpenSSL test results for crypto benchmark, basically. Okay, so that's the. Also, there is the full URL that's on the screen, which is uploaded to that site. Okay, so I believe I tested as much as I can. I don't have a card for this. I will try to put it as an update and pin it to the top comment. And if I get anything properly, a graphics card working on this port. But yeah, other than that, we tested the Wi-Fi, the CPU, the SSD, and the Wi-Fi, and the HDMI and Ethernet and iPerf. And here is the memory speeds and the CPU speeds and all that stuff. Okay, so for $80, definitely it's a great board. It's big, 17 by 17. So it's I'm just happy that RISC-V is taking off. I just like to have as many options as possible for everyone in terms of you know, CPU architecture and even operating systems and all that. So there's right now Ubuntu and Fedora. Hopefully more will come. But yeah, please let me know what you think overall, and if you have any suggestions, recommendation, or you want me to test specific something on this board, let me know. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.